Hi, my voice is dead. I'd like to. I thought it would be kind of fun to look at some book related articles. I found this 30 BookTok books that are actually worth the hype. It was updated on July 14, 2024. I don't know when it was first published, but anyway, it's quite recent. It's by this person called Farrah Penn. Penn, Penn. What a good name for someone who likes reading, possibly writing as well. Okay, so I do have a TikTok account. I have posted some stuff, but I'm generally not on TikTok. And when I do watch TikToks, I see them through YouTube or Instagram. I don't actually use the TikTok app because it's quite a dangerous addiction thing. So I avoid it. It's also pretty chaotic for me. Anyway, I'm just going to react to the books. Some of them I can see that I've read, some of them I've heard about, some of them I've heard of, seen people reviewing. So anyway, if you want to read the article, I'll leave a link in the description as always. First one is Verity by Colleen Hoover. I will not read any Colleen Hoover books for all kinds of reasons. Mainly because I have heard some reviewers say there's a lot of problematic stuff in these books, and I don't feel like reading it at all. Fourth Wing is a very popular romantasy book. I've heard that this word romantasy was created shortly after this book became popular. So, but I have heard some conflicting. I don't know what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say with one word is that I've heard people saying that they love it. I've heard people saying that they don't like it, and for reasons of the romance being kind of a little bit too on the spice note that they've anticipated, but I don't know for sure. But I'm not particularly interested in romantasy. Oh my gosh, this thing again. So it popped up before, and I said I disagree, and nothing happened. So anyway, there's lots of ads on this. I'm looking at this in incognito, so there's lots of ads on this article. I don't like that. Okay, they both die at the end. I have this book in my TBR. I was interested in it when it was hyped. I also just happened to find this book cover when I was just looking at pretty book covers on Pinterest. I thought, oh, this is a nice book cover. Yeah, so I am interested in that book. I didn't know that it was a TikTok hype. I did not know that. So I knew about it before it was hyped. Act Your Age, Eve Brown. Act Your Age, Eve Brown by Talia Hibbert. I've seen someone review this book. And I've heard that it was okay, kind of meh. Not particularly interesting. But anyway, I probably wouldn't read it because I don't read romance genre. The only romance kind of genre that I've ever read is the rom-coms by Sophie Kinsella, because those are hilarious. Brother by Ania I don't know how to say it. I don't know how to say it. Allborn. It's a horror book. Actually, I like horror movies. I don't read a lot of horror books. I don't really know what's good. And I don't know. I haven't read a lot. I did read a Mexican Gothic, though, and it was okay. It wasn't as creepy as the hype made it sound like it would be. So I was a little bit disappointed, personally. Apparently this one is quite disturbing. I see some book talker apparently said that it's a very depressing and disturbing reading experience, which seems interesting. I might check it out if I feel like it. The Atlas 6. Okay, so I saw Jesse the Reader, YouTuber, booktuber, say that this wasn't his favorite book. Like, he didn't like the book. Like, he liked the world and everything, but there was something about the book that he didn't like. I can't remember what it was. I remember hearing some people giving this like, oh, it's a great book, and other people saying like, it's not as good as people make it out to be on TikTok. So I'm kind of like, I'm not sure about this book at this point. I'm not sure if I want to check it out. I feel like I might be interested in it, but I'm also not completely. Oh yeah, I think it was like dark academia trope type, dark academia genre cliche type book. I'm not particularly interested in dark academia type of books. I want to go on an adventure, but I might check it out. I don't know. I'm not particularly interested in dark academia. People We Have Met on Vacation by Emily Henry. Okay, so somebody who doesn't really read romance read this book and I think they liked it or something. So I might check it out, but I don't read romance and rom-com. I don't know if Emily Henry's books are funny or not. I mean, I might check them out someday. I'm not particularly interested in this book. Okay, Kristen Hanna. Okay, so this book I saw on Amazon's summer 2024 list, which I looked through, and I have 2 videos up on my channel. So go check that out. This is one of the books, and I read the blurb and everything, and I was interested in this book. I also read The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna, and although there were some parts that were like, to me, it was pretty good. So there's promise there, and I would like to check out this book. It's actually a really pretty cover. I want this cover. So yeah, so it's set in Vietnam. That's what I remember about it. And it also says here in Vietnam, which is an interesting setting. I haven't read any books. Well, actually, there was a book, a fantasy book called Claws, that was apparently set in Vietnam, but the Vietnam setting did not play a part in that story at all. So it would be interesting to read a story that actually takes place in Vietnam and probably brings in some cultural elements of Vietnam. That would be quite interesting. I haven't read a book like that before. So okay, Babel. This book, I have been hearing mixed reviews. Well, that's the word I was looking for. Mixed reviews of this book. One thing is that this is the author of the Poppy War trilogy. And the Poppy War trilogy was really hyped. And I was also kind of interested in it, but it's a really thick book series. So I've kind of been putting off reading it. Anyway, Babel, I heard the historical bit of it, the history and stuff, isn't as in-depth as the history that appears in the Poppy War trilogy, which made for this book to be kind of meh for some people who like the Poppy War. So some people thought that there should be more historical research and stuff could have been done when writing this book as well. I don't know. It could still be good because I've heard lots of people praising this book, but it could have been just because it's TikTok hype. I'm not sure if I want to read this book. It's a really thick book. That's the thing about thick books that are hyped. I really have to really want to read it. Okay, The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I tried to get into this book. I picked it up at the bookstore and I looked through it. I didn't buy it. I looked through it and no, I'm not interested in this interview style. I really couldn't get, it just wasn't working for me. This one wasn't working for me and I wasn't particularly interested in the plot either. So not for me. Okay, I do like this purple, dusty purple. Delilah Green Doesn't Care. I'm guessing that the next one is like another alliteration with the D. Maybe it's another name and another same letter. That's what I'm guessing. By Ashley Herring Blake. This is a LGBTQ romance book. I'm guessing it's between these two women. Some maybe pretty girl, this lady has a camera. Maybe she's a photographer. It's steamy. Okay, if it's steamy, then I'm probably not gonna read it. But it's nice to see lots of LGBTQ books out there. It's nice to see. Okay, I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jeanette McCurdy. This is a nonfiction book by Jeanette McCurdy. And so it's a memoir, yes. So I've watched a lot of reviews about this book and everything about the stuff, and I might read it someday, actually. I'm just not particularly interested in reading memoirs right now. But I did watch a bunch of reviews, in-depth reviews with, I mean, can you spoil a memoir? But anyway, this book seems interesting to me. Okay, My Year of Rest and Relaxation by Otessa Mosh. I don't even know how to say this name. I think Jack Edwards, booktuber, read this book and said it was a good book, and he likes a lot of literary fiction type of books, and if he says it's good, then I say it's probably good, because I think from my perspective he has pretty good taste. I mean, from my perspective. Anyway, so it's apparently pretty dark, which I like a story about characters in a sort of dark characters who are in a dark situation, because I also have a book that is a dark satire, dark humor type of story, and it might give me a lot of inspiration. Who knows? So maybe I would read it someday, maybe. Transcendent Kingdom by Ya Gassi. That's an interesting name. Wonder where they're from. It's contemporary fiction set in Alabama. It tells the story of the Ghanaian family. Interesting. Let me read this a little bit. Gifty is a fifth-year neuroscience candidate at Stanford studying the neural circuits of depression and addiction. Her brother was a talented athlete who died after a knee injury left him addicted to opioids. Now her mother is suicidal and Gifty wants to understand those who are struggling on a scientific level. On top of this, she finds herself drawn to the evangelical church where she was raised, perhaps as something of a comfort, even though it offers more questions than answers. Interesting. And it might be very interesting to read. I am interested. I like to know about all kinds of different types of lives and people and how they think and all of that stuff, so it'd be interesting. Every Summer After by Carly Fortune. It's a contemporary romance. Just by seeing the genre, I feel like I won't be interested in it. Moving on. Okay, Mexican Gothic. I read that one and I told you what I thought about it. Personally, Mexican Gothic, the vibes are good. The ending, personally, for me, was disappointing. So, I won't tell you anything because it'd be spoily, but If I'm going to do a spoily video, I'll tell you I'll do a spoily video. I'll tell you when it's spoily. It Happened One Summer. This is a romance. This is a romance. I am not reading a romance. It's an enemies to lovers romance, even. Right here. Spicy and filled with tension. Not for me. Not my cup of tea. A Court of Thorns and Roses. Pass. Not interested. Not interested in all this face stuff and all this stuff. This guy who has a tail, I don't know. Time is a Mother by Ocean Young. I'm already interested by the title. Time is a Mother. It's poetry. Oh, okay. It's poetry. Oh, that's not a Y. That's a V. I don't know why I read that as Young. My brain is saying it was a Y. Now that I know that it's a poetry book, I don't know if I'm particularly interested. I'll have to check it out, like what kind of poetry this Ocean Vuong person writes. I cannot read names. Ready or Not. Okay. It's a rom-com. It's a laugh out loud rom-com. Anyone who is hesitant about the romance genre or even the pregnancy trope can be won over by this amazing title. Okay, what is it? An unexpected pregnancy from a one-night stand. I'm not interested. Not for me. Okay. Daughter of the Moon Goddess. I'm actually interested in this. It's a duology, right? Yeah, I'm actually interested in it. It's pretty. Although it's a romantasy, and this was before romantasy, and The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea is also something that I'm interested in. Stuff. I thought The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea and The Moon Goddess one were the same author, but they're not. The covers just look so similar. Maybe it was the same artist. Who knows? Anyway, I'm a little bit interested. But then again, disguising identity, I don't know if I'm particularly interested in identity disguise type of stories. Shatter Me by Tare Mafi. I've heard bad things about this book. There is a reader who I talk to sometimes on a writing forum called Wacky Writers, and she was saying she likes the books. And then there was another reader who said that she didn't like the books, even though she likes the author sometimes. So I don't know. I don't know about this. Not particularly interested. A Little Life by Hanya Yanagihara. Okay, so this one, actually, I know Jack Edwards read it. It actually is a depressing book. Very, very bleak and depressing book. Yes, it says bleak realities down here. I'm not particularly interested in it, but Jack Edwards says it was good, and I think he has good taste, so. Oh, I have this book in my TBR, Red, White, and Royal Blue. It's an LGBTQ romance, and I thought I am interested in it. And I was interested in it before the hype. Like, I noticed it, like, what is this book? Because at the time, I had a book with a similar title, and it kind of caught my eye. And there was also a Japanese manga series with a similar title, so I was kind of curious about it. Okay, probably interested in that. Are you interested in any of these books? Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. So this book, I've heard it has some kind of conflicting mixed reviews. It has mixed reviews. I think this one came out in the Books to Read in the Summer of Amazon's 2024 Books to Read in the Summer list that I looked through on my channel. I gave my thoughts on that. I don't think I was particularly interested. She Who Became the Sun. I actually have this exact book with this exact cover in my TBR. So that means I want to read it. Okay, we are moving on 2, Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe. I read this book, actually. Yay, I can say I can give a book that I've actually read and reviewed on my Instagram. Foxwood Author, if you want to look that up. If you go to my review highlights, there's a highlight that's review, and you will find it somewhere in there, and then you can go and see what I thought of it. I did think it was a pretty good book. About Aristotle and Dante discovering the secrets of the universe. The title's a little bit misleading to me. I don't know what you thought about it. It was a good ending. It was a very nice, feel good book with very. It was very nice. It was very nice seeing the perspective of Aristotle, which is the main character. Yeah, because it said Aristotle and Dante, I expected there to be a POV switch, but there isn't a POV switch. Icebreaker. I'm not interested in sports romance types books. No, please. Please, no. Bunny by Mona Awad. I think Jack Edwards read this book. I don't remember what he said about it, though. But I'm kind of interested. It also reminds me of Bunnicula, so I'm also interested for that reason. We're flipping through last night at the Telegraph Club. I saw this somewhere. Did someone read it? Or I saw this somewhere on Instagram. I feel like I've seen someone on Instagram. Okay, it's a LGBTQ YA historical. A sapphic historical novel set in San Francisco. One character meets another character at a lesbian bar called the Telegraph Club. Although this isn't a safe time for two girls to fall in love, Lily and Kathleen risk it all to be together. Sounds nice. Might be interesting for like historical backstory, historical like stuff and things like that. Geek Love, a novel, Catherine Dunn. I've never seen this book before. Let's see. Polarizing Read. Published in 1989. Oh, so it's an old book that's gaining hype. Family drama, failing business. Couple sets out to create a freak show using drugs to turn children into oddities and hitting the road in a traveling carnival. Huh. It sounds disturbing, so I might read it. I like being disturbed. Okay. They credit some of the people that they took this stuff from. Okay, so that is a list. Interesting list of all kinds of genres. We got YA. We don't have middle grade. We have YA. We have adult fantasy, probably with some spice in here. We have some rom-com. We have some horror. We have like some oldies and some goodies and oldies and stuff like that. So BookTok has a bunch of stuff going on for it right now. No middle grade books, which is kind of disappointing because I'm always on the hunt for another good middle grade book series, like The Stormkeeper's Island by Catherine Doyle, which I loved that trilogy. So anyway, did you enjoy me just going through this list of books? I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below. Let me know if you are interested in reading any of these books, or have you read any of these books and what you thought about them. Let me know all the stuff that you want to say. Your secret word for this video is bunny rabbits. Bunny rabbits as one word, just bunny rabbits. Okay, just one word, no space, no hyphen, nothing. Okay, anyway, that's the end of this video, and I hope you like it. If you want more like videos like this where I just scroll through a list of books and say if I would enjoy or buy them, or have I read them or not, let me know in the comments down below. I will see you in the next, I will see you. I won't see you. You will hear me in the next video. And that's it. The fox is out.